Tonight, 7 people are dead, including the shooter, after a gunman goes on a rampage at a business in Milwaukee.
And losing a piece of history just days after his 100th birthday, the Northland loses their last link to Pearl Harbor.
Plus, offsetting past pollution. That's what Husky is being ordered to do after the 2018 blaze that prompted evacuations across the city.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. A developing situation happening right now in Wisconsin. The mayor of Milwaukee has confirmed multiple people died in a shooting at the Molson Coors Brewery in the city today.
Reports say in total 7 people have lost their lives. That number includes the shooter. This afternoon, the company reported an active shooter on its campus and warned employees to find a place to hide. As you can see, a heavy police presence there poured onto the campus, including Milwaukee Police and ATF canine units, where the scene is currently active.
This remains an active scene. There are multiple fatalities. We know that. But again, it is a horrible, horrible day for the employees here. It is a very rough day for anybody who is close to this situation. So,
reports say the shooter was an employee who had just been fired.
Offsetting past pollution. That is what Superior's Husky Refinery is being called to do after the 2018 explosion.
This comes after a proposed settlement filed in federal court on Friday. CBS 3's John Cardinelli breaks down what upgrades Husky would have to make according to the settlement.
Kristen, Tony, according to our partners at Wisconsin Public Radio, the biggest call to action is making safety upgrades to the refinery's hydrofluoric acid tank. HF caused great concern during the fire, forcing some of the city's 27,000 people to temporarily evacuate. In the past, Husky announced upgrades to safety measures surrounding the HF tank. Those are still on the table. The agreement would also include installation of solar panels at the University of Wisconsin-Superior that would provide at least 440 kilowatts of power for the school. Also included is a study that would measure ways to mitigate the effects of a potential HF leak. All these measures and others are expected to offset the emissions released in that 2018 fire. WPR reports an estimated 125 tons of nitrogen oxides, volatile organic compounds, and other emissions were released during the nearly 12-hour-long blaze. This all comes as the refinery is working to rebuild and open for full operation next year. Husky officials say they believe it is important to get the amendment finalized as they move forward with reopening the refinery. The agreement will now go before a federal judge for approval. This is all a part of an effort to be compliant with the Federal Clean Air Act.
Thanks, John. An 84-year-old man died in a house fire near Spooner this week. Authorities responded to a home in Evergreen Township early Monday morning. It took them nearly 12 hours to find the body of Samuel Miller. Spooner fire officials say Miller was using portable heaters when the fire broke out. No word on how much damage was done. It's already been a deadly year when it comes to fires in Minnesota. 8 people died in the month of January alone. There were only 3 fatal fires in that same time last year.
Now Duluth students are doing their part to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else. CBS 3's Alex Libby caught up with them as they checked in on community members today. Alex.
Yeah, Tony and Kristen, today was Community Day for the students of St. Scholastica. Part of an effort included students going door to door, making sure everyone had up-to-date smoke alarms. Students today visit 2 different neighborhoods, Zenith Terrace Mobile Home Community in Proctor and Vintage Acres Mobile Home Parks in Duluth Gary neighborhood. Their goal was to inform people about the importance of working smoke alarms. They'll also report back to the Red Cross, which then they'll install the new smoke alarms free of charge. Dan Williams, the executive director of the American Red Cross of the Northern Minnesota chapter, says there are 2 simple things you can do to make your alarms work properly.
You know, when we think about smoke detectors, especially around daylight savings time, we talk about replacing the batteries, but it's also vitally important to make sure smoke detectors are less than 10 years old as well. So that's a really big message that we're out in the community making sure people are aware of.
According to the Red Cross, since 2014, they have given and installed nearly 4,000 smoke alarms just in St. Louis County and more than 10,000 in all of Minnesota. Williams says those free alarms have saved 16 lives. And coming up at 10 o'clock, we hear from students who participated and how important it was for them to possibly save a life. Send it back to you.
Certainly a positive initiative. CBS's Alex Libby in the newsroom for us tonight. Thanks, Alex. In some sad news, the Northland's last link to a pivotal event in American history passed away last night in Aurora. Pearl Harbor survivor Arleigh Burke died 9 days after celebrating his 100th birthday with guests like State Senator David Tomassoni and State Representative Dave Lislagard. At age 21, he was a gun director on the USS Honolulu when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor and forced the United States into World War II. It is thought there are no more Pearl Harbor survivors in Minnesota now that Burke of Hoyt Lakes and Bruce Atwater of Bemidji have passed away in 2020. Plans for a memorial service are pending, according to Burke's family.
Let's check in with Dave for a quick look at the weather. I know some folks saw a few flurries or some snow last night. Are we going to be seeing any more of that?
Just a little bit more tonight. It's maybe a 20% chance in Minnesota, closer to Lake Superior, and a 20 to 30% chance it'll cling to the South Shore for a few more hours as well. Snow totals, we'll take a look at those in just a little bit, but right now we'll eye up the upper Midwest. And that trough of low pressure is departing, and wedging in between that and another low approaching will be a small cool cell of high pressure. So we'll go get some cooler temperatures here for the next couple of days, and we'll clear up the sky like highs tend to do, but it won't be a big Arctic blast like high pressure systems this time of year tend to bring. And it'll hold that low at bay there probably until late Friday night, and that'll be just a chance for more flurries. So our day planner for Thursday says it should be a pretty blue sky out the door in the morning. Here in the Twin Ports, 3 above, might be as cold as 5 below towards International Falls. Lunchtime, we'll crack the double digits with sunshine. And coming back home late in the afternoon, early evening, still sunny, at least before sunset, with a high of only 19. That's cooler than normal. We'll talk about how long we'll stay cooler than normal and when the next warm spell will arrive in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. A Duluth man has pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting 2 young girls at an in-home daycare. It happened at a former daycare in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. Daniel Bennell was originally charged in 2018. The 23-year-old is the son of the woman who ran the 24-hour daycare. The children say Bennell sexually assaulted them while they were spending the night. He's set to be sentenced in May. According to the Department of Human Services records, the daycare had its license suspended shortly after Bennell was charged. The license was officially revoked in January of this year. Wisconsin health officials are laying out their plans for preventing the spread of coronavirus. So far, 17 people in Wisconsin have been tested for coronavirus. 1 person tested positive, 15 were negative, and 1 is still pending. Minnesota has not had a test come back positive. This afternoon, Wisconsin Health Department officials said while the risk here is still low, they're making sure their systems are prepared to handle an outbreak. They're also doing outreach to make sure schools, businesses, and other organizations are prepared.
We're looking to disseminate guidance that helps to the public and private sectors ensure that they are able to operate with adaptations like telework and flexible leave policies, as well as to respond properly when an employee does get sick.
We also reached out to St. Luke's and Essentia hospitals to learn if they've made any changes to their response plan. Essentia reps say they continue to monitor the situation and make sure staff have the resources they need. St. Luke's did not get back to us by news time.
President Donald Trump discussed the coronavirus threat at a White House news conference today. This comes a day after he hoped to minimize fears of the virus spreading across the country. However, Trump and his administration have been sending mixed signals about the virus. While the CDC has warned the public to prepare for a coronavirus outbreak, Trump said yesterday that the situation is, quote, very well under control in our country. The administration is also asking Congress for an additional $2.5 billion to speed development of a vaccine. Unfortunately, officials say any vaccine is well over a year away. In Wisconsin politics, Attorney General Josh Cull has joined 38 other states in investigating into an investigation into e-cig giant Juul Labs' marketing practices. Cull said the investigation will focus on whether Juul targets youth. In 2018, the National Youth Tobacco Survey found roughly 20% of high school students were vaping. Several states have already sued Juul for allegedly targeting young people within its marketing campaigns.
Governor Tony Evers has vetoed a Republican-authored $250 million income tax bill. Earlier today, Evers argued that the legislature should instead back his plan to spend more on education. Evers had proposed spending $250 million on K-12 schools, with $130 million to reduce property taxes, but Republicans ignored his proposal. They said increasing funding for schools will be part of the debate over the state budget next year. Canadian National's Proctor facility is facing thousands of dollars in fines for OSHA violations. According to reports from the Minnesota branch of the safety agency, an investigation was opened in November and recently closed after handing out nearly $4,000 in fines for 4 violations. OSHA discovered 2 sanitation violations for how they dispose of waste and vermin control. Each of those was a $1,500 violation. They were also assessed 2 separate $375 fines for obstructing exits and improperly installed electric equipment. We did reach out to CN for comment, but have not heard back as of news time.
Still to come, it's School Bus Driver Appreciation Day in Minnesota. Coming up, we'll tell you about what the day seeks to raise awareness about.
Temperatures today, well, the normal is 28. We achieved 23, so this cool down is coming. It's a slow process. Some towns tomorrow morning could wake up below 0. We'll tell you who and for how long coming up after our break.
At Papa Murphy's, we're making flavor magic for just $8. Introducing the new Combo Magnifico, a magical combination of giant pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and onions, all for just $8. Bake it yourself, then make it disappear. We make it, you bake it, Papa Murphy's.
Live in concert in the Otter Creek Event Center, Black Bear Casino Resort lights up the stage with Clay Walker, Friday, May 15th.
Then what you gonna do when the new wears off?
With hit after hit for the last 3 decades, his smooth voice and energetic stage presence have made him one of the busiest artists on the road. Tickets available at the Players Club or online at blackbearcasinoresort.com. Make the Bear your place.
Life beyond the gravitational pull of the city requires a can-do attitude. It takes versatility to accomplish all that needs to be done, and enough power to never get in over your head. The Kubota L-Series tractor pulls up its bootstraps, hooks up to its many attachments, and gets the job done right. That's why it's the #1 selling compact tractor in America.
No one serves you better than Lulich Implement.
See the original Harlem Globetrotters, all new, pushing the limits world tour with new high-flying stunts, a new record-breaking attempt, and laugh-out-loud entertainment for the whole family.
The Harlem Globetrotters playing Duluth at Amsoil Arena March 29th. Visit harlemglobetrotters.com.
If we don't stop Donald Trump this time, shame on us. Americans deserve a president who has their back, who isn't afraid to take on powerful forces, who has a record of bringing people together, and most importantly, who gets things done. I know what it takes to win in the Midwest. It's not flyover country to me. It's home. I'm Amy Klobuchar. I approve this message because we need a president who can win for all of us.
Is your child on track? As a caregiver, we love watching babies reach milestones, like that first smile, that first giggle, first steps and words. Some children need a little extra help to learn and grow. If you've noticed that your child isn't reaching certain milestones, don't worry. Free help is available for children ages birth to 5. Whether your child is at home, in daycare, or in preschool, the Help Me Grow referral system connects you to the early intervention program in your area. Visit helpmegrowmn.org or your local school district to make sure your child is on track.
Want to watch some television with me?
Sure.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing!
Right.
No.
Okay, what you think?
Tell me, L.A. is a people town.
Can you have a town without people?
Get it.
How do I look?
You look like the chief of police.
You gotta get in on this.
Thursday, it's your night in on CBS.
Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app.
CBS3 weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
A couple of troughs of lower pressure working through the region did pay off with snow, at least for some zones. Technically, we could say just about everybody got at least a flake or two, and that's about it for some places. But thanks to lake influence, it was a little bit heavier for the South Shore indeed. And we go from really just a trace for the folks in Superior to Guile, a ½ inch. Usually they're the snow kings. Not this time around. Solon Springs did get an inch straight up, and we doubled that to 2 inches for Hawthorne. Wentworth and Maple got 3, and Poplar, at least so far, seems to be this time around Snow King at 4.3 inches. And there is still a chance, 20 to 30% chance, we'll get a few more flurries tonight, but by tomorrow, high pressure from the north should take over. But it won't really be Arctic high pressure, so it will cool down, but it's not going to be overly cold. Right now, not overly cold at the airport in Duluth. It is 17 above, but we could fall pretty close to the 0 mark as the night goes on. These clouds are on the thicker side now, probably till midnight or so, and that's why we're still looking at a few more hours of flurry chances. Then the high will chase the clouds away overnight, and we should wake up tomorrow morning to a sunny sky. But back to the here and now. Relative humidity, that's 52%, and the wind is northwesterly, 9 miles per hour. Temperature right now for International Falls is 15. Same deal going on in Hibbing, a little bit warmer towards Grand Rapids, and 21 still at Moose Lake. Up the North Shore, a lot of towns are coming in with 18 degrees. We have 22 in Superior and Hayward, 15s in the Upper Peninsula, and 20 for our friends in Ashland. Probably lows tonight in the teens for Wisconsin and the UP. Maybe 5 below towards International Falls, and single digits then for pretty much the rest of Minnesota. So not a big cold snap, but it is a cool down. Taking a look at the situation going on here tonight, well, we've got higher pressure pushing in to chase away this low pressure system, like I mentioned. So only a few more hours of flurries before the high takes over and clears up the sky. And of course, does also cool us down, at least for a little while. Flurries lurking off towards the west. They'll be kept away probably until late Friday night, early Saturday morning. When the high finally goes away, then this little trough can come to call, and we'll look at a similar situation to today. Really just light stuff here for the region. Now let's talk about cool stuff with the forecast for tonight. And in Minnesota towards border country, Ely to Crane Lake or International Falls, that area, 5 below. 0 towards Kristen's neck of the woods, Hibbing, Chisholm, Buell, places like that. And then the balmy rest of Minnesota could run anywhere from 3 in Proctor to 8 on Park Point. In Wisconsin and Michigan, low temps there, 4 to 7, but at least that's above 0 on all accounts. 20% flurry chance for most of us here tonight, which goes away tomorrow. We get a mostly sunny sky. Maybe it'll build in slowly towards the UP, but you'll get it there eventually. High temps 17 to 23. That's cooler than normal. Minnesota high temps also 17 to 23 with sunshine, and that's cooler than normal. And the cooler than normal business sticks with us through Friday, but then we perk up again come Saturday and Sunday. Back to a warm spell. High temps in the 30s, even upper 30s. Couple of flurries Saturday morning, then a cloudy sky on Sunday, leading to a rain-snow mix chance coming around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but only 30 to 40% chances for a payoff.
All right. It's been quite the February. I feel like it's been kind of lucky. Something for everyone.
You know, no huge blizzards yet.
Yeah.
But March is coming.
Yes.
It's true. Thanks, Dave. Honk if you love your school bus driver. Today is School Bus Driver Appreciation Day in Minnesota. The goal is to raise awareness of a statewide shortage of school bus drivers. Governor Tim Walz says right now the shortage is the largest in Minnesota's history, and it's affecting districts everywhere. It's estimated there is about a 10 to 15% vacancy rate. Walz hopes events happening around the state today to honor this often overlooked position will lead more people to consider the job.
A DTA rider won big today. The DTA served its 8 millionth UMD U-Pass rider today, and that lucky rider was UMD sophomore Majir Ahmed. He was given a gift basket that included $100 to the UMD gift store and some DTA swag. Ahmed says he was very unsuspecting as he was just taking his daily ride back home after a test.
What did I do to get this? I just literally hopped on the bus, swiped my U-card, got on, and they just started swarming on in.
The U-Pass is a cheaper public transit pass for UMD students. The program began 20 years ago and averages nearly 400,000 swipes each year.
All right, Kelly's here to preview sports. What's up, Kelly?
Hockey. More hockey.
No.
I know. We got Denfeld and Hermantown over at AMSOIL Arena. Our own Neil Viersba is there with a preview that's coming up next.
A
Up to 60% off on the North Face and Columbia winter clothing.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
For a limited time at Home Sleep Express, get a king-size mattress for the price of a queen. This King Certa Perfect Sleeper is now just $449, plus no interest financing until 2023. King for the price of a queen at Home Sleep Express.
It's the extreme deal of the day. Call now and get fast internet for less than $20 a month. If you ever thought about switching internet providers, the time to do it is now. For a limited time, you can get Access Internet 60 with speeds up to 60 meg and in-home Wi-Fi for only $19.99 a month for 1 year. Plus, there's no contract to sign. This is your chance to get real high-speed internet without the high price. Call 855-330-4175 today.
Daddy, you're gonna need a lot of work.
Oh, okay. I'm clearly not the boss here. But with the DQ sauced and tossed chicken strip basket, I'm the sauce boss. It's my choice of honey barbecue or sweet and tangy sesame glaze on juicy, all-white meat chicken strips and served with a side of fries, Texas toast, and ranch. So when it comes to flavor, I'm in charge.
Eyes closed.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
DQ, happy tastes good.
At Marshall, we know that paying independent school tuition is a real commitment for families, and we want to make the Marshall experience possible for anyone who wants to attend. That's why Marshall is introducing community-centered pricing to make the Marshall experience possible for more families. We know that families have budgets, and it's our goal to work within those budgets in a way that makes sense for everybody. When we partner together, we invest in your child's future. Contact us or join us at our open house on Wednesday, March 4th.
Now, we know the Trump strategy. Try to win by attacking, distorting, dividing. Mr. President, it won't work.
Newspapers report Bloomberg is the Democrat Trump fears most. As president, universal health care that lets people keep their coverage if they like it. A record on job creation. A durable plan to combat climate change.
I led a complex, diverse city through 9/11, and I have common sense plans to move America away from chaos to progress.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Attention farmers, gardeners, landscapers, and anyone who sprayed or handled Roundup. Using Roundup has been linked to serious health risks including cancer. If you used Roundup and diagnosed with leukemia or lymphoma, you should know your rights and ask if you qualify for financial compensation. Time may be running out. Ask us if exposure to Roundup entitles you to financial compensation. Roundup victims, call now. Now, for a limited time at Home Furniture, you can get a king-size bedroom suite for the price of a queen. Like this king bedroom suite, now just $11.99. Plus, no interest financing until 2023 and free shipping. King for the price of a queen at Home Furniture.
Get your news on the go. The CBS3 mobile app. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
It is the final stop for boys high school hockey before the state tournament tonight. Two of our local teams just about to hit the ice for the section finals as Hermantown and Duluth-Denfeld face off at Amsoil Arena. And that is where we find our own Neil Viersbud. Neil, the atmosphere never disappoints at these section final games. What can we expect tonight from these teams?
That's right, Kelly. As you mentioned, the Section 7A title is on the line right here at Amsoil Arena. This is what every player strives for, the opportunity to compete for a state tournament berth. But in this section final, there's not much of a surprise. We have number 1 Hermantown versus number 2 Duluth-Denfeld. And both teams, they're hungry in this one. As you can imagine, Hermantown, they were in this game just a year ago, but fell short to the eventual Class A runner-up in Greenway. The Hawks will be in search of their 16th state tournament appearance. Duluth-Denfeld, on the other hand, it's been a long time coming. 1989 was the last time they qualified for the state tournament, and their last section final appearance was in 2013. Tonight will mark the second time the two teams have squared off this season. Hermantown took the earlier matchup back on December 17th with the 6-1 win. Duluth-Denfeld head coach Dale Jago said earlier this week the team must execute in order to achieve the big win tonight.
Hermantown's highly skilled. They come at you in waves, and when they smell blood in the water, they just start circling the Sharks. So we just got to stay within ourselves. We were real nervous against Greenway, and we made some mistakes early on. As we settled into our game, we got better, but we got to avoid those. It's all about competing. We're going to have second efforts. We're going to have to get some bounces, and we're going to have to play our game at the top of our ability.
Now those Hunters will be in search of their first win against Hermantown since 2012. So it should be a good one tonight, and if you can't make the game, we'll have full highlights tonight at 10 right here on CBS3 Duluth. And with that, I'll send things back to you, Kelly.
All right, thank you, Neil. So exciting. Should be a fantastic game again. He's there. He's shooting highlights. We're going to have those at 10 on CBS3. Well, 2020 has been kind to the UMD women's hockey team with only 2 losses on the year. Thus far, the team has certainly been playing their best hockey at the right time. The team hopes to continue that this upcoming weekend when they welcome in another matchup with Bemidji State for the WCHA quarterfinal. This is the 3rd straight year UMD will meet BSU in the conference quarters.
Once we came back from the break, that's something we talked about, just being more difficult to play against in the D zone. We have the goal scorers. We like to play offense. We like to use our speed. And when you have one of the best goalies in the country, you got to play well in front of her. And that should give you confidence that you do have one of the best goalies in the country. So let's get back there and support her, too. That really kind of turned the tide against Bemidji in those 3 games in January where I thought we were tougher than they were, and I'm not sure that I can say that about past UMD teams.
It is just that time of year, and I love it. It's so exciting. I mean, you could see behind him that fans were starting to pile in. I swear that lower bowl is going to be filled to the brim with Hunters and Hawks by 7 p.m.
It seems like everywhere you look, there's just a monumental hockey game happening.
Everywhere. And then we got playoff basketball tonight that we're going to be talking about, too. So it's just... It's lots to look forward to.
If you like sports, this is your time.
This is your time. This is your time to tune into CBS3 News.
Thanks, Kelly. Well, some beer lovers in Jerusalem are giving a whole new meaning to aging a brew. This pub is serving a beer made with yeast that's 5,000 years old. Oh, wow. It was discovered by 2 men, including one microbiologist, in some very old clay pots. They were able to reactivate the yeast in a lab and make their first batch of beer last spring. In terms of how good it is, well, the jury's still out on that one. Some people say it tastes like nuts or bananas and goes down pretty smoothly, while others say it tastes like burned bread and has absolutely no appeal. It's not clear what the ancient brew will be named. Unfortunately, it sounds like it's not going to be sold anywhere outside of Jerusalem.
Around here, So. All right, interesting anyways. Dave, any snow coming tonight?
Just a chance for a couple more flurries here over the next couple of hours. I think we've received the bulk of any precip. So that sets us up for sunshine to return for Thursday and Friday, but cooler temperatures as well. Highs near 20s, lows near zeros, and then better for the weekend.
Thanks for joining us.